I want to know what the difference is between being a landlord in Florida versus California. Like, what are the main?
Totally different.
What are the main
Florida,
differences?
you got rights as the landlord. You're the property owner. You're paying the taxes. You're the one that owns it. Ownership means a lot here. All right, where ownership doesn't have the same respect and entitlements in California. Here, listen, it's real simple. Whoever owns it runs it. And as long as they're not breaking a law, you don't belong there. If you don't pay them rent, you got to go. They don't even contest the evictions here very rarely. I don't think, in all the years I've been here, 20 years in Florida, I don't recall any evictions being contested. They just process the paperwork, and then the sheriff will eventually come out in less than a month and tell them they got to go, and they go. Normally, it doesn't even get down to that. The people leave before the sheriff comes. I mean, it's more landlord friendly and normal. Pay or stay. No pay, no stay. Chinese way.
What do you think of the anti-landlord movement that seems to be going on now?
Nonsense. All these movements are nonsense. Everybody just needs the basic common sense movements. We have a movement against landlords. Well, if there were no landlords, where the would you live? If guys didn't build for you to lay your head in and sleep and live, where the would you be? That's why they call them lord. They would put landlord, a property owner, on the highest level of society when society first started. That's why they use Lord, God. You provide a place for people to live and exist and raise your family. I'm not saying I'm a god, but that's the level that the history put people on, because you were important. I mean, what do? Sleep in the street?
The argument against that is that landlords drive up the cost of housing, and then other people would be able to profit.
Market. Everything's a market. Supply and demand.
Well, they say that housing should be a right and not housing should be a right and not for profit.
Listen, housing is a right in a communist country. The government provides housing for everybody. You may not like that housing, but who the wants to be controlled? Listen, we're a capitalistic society. Listen, if you're poor, you got to sleep somewhere cheap. All right? If you're homeless, you got to sleep on the street. If you got money, you can sleep in a better place. I mean, I don't know. It's just common sense to me.
You know what's interesting? So I did
now,
a lease.
Subsidizing is very important to me. Helping the poor my career was based on that. I'll be honest, Section 8. Helping the poor is a great way to spend tax money.
So what's interesting is that it's been a few years since I've drafted up a lease agreement as a landlord in California. I did one recently. They got rid of the term landlord in California.
They got what?
They got rid of the word landlord. Landlord's not a term anymore in California.
Property owner.
Housing provider.
Housing provider. You're a housing provider.
It sounds a little nicer, though, than landlord. I mean, let's, just like they got rid of
why?
it.
Someone probably just got so proud of themselves because they got to switch out one word in a leasing document.
Listen,
it's.
They did
the
that
world's crazy in California. That's all I can tell you. If you go anywhere else, people typically use common sense and logic. But with these cuckoos now running and all the poor people running, why are poor people running? They don't know how to do shit, or else they would have made money. Why are they in charge of my life? It makes no sense. The whole democratic thing, it doesn't make sense to me. A lot of them, I don't get it.